Hey guys, how's it going? I just finished making a video on regrinding a skew chisel, and it got me thinking I should do some videos on grinding. So I'm about to turn this bowl that I am very excited about. I don't know if I put some glue in there. I don't know if it's dry yet. But anyway, for this, because it's dry, I'm gonna need sharp gouges. So I was thinking about talking about how I sharpen my gouges and just give you a little rundown on that. So let's get to the grinder. So this is my basic grinding setup. So I have two main gouges that I use. Okay, I have this one, which is very much nearing the end of its life. I'm telling you, these two gouges were exactly the same size when I first got them. Right, so this one's nearing the end of its life. I think I'm going to get it to about there. And when it's there, that's it. I'm going to change it. This is a parabolic flute, so you can see it's a nice parabolic shape. While this one is a V flute. You can see it's a V. Now, I know that these are different types of gouges. I have different grinds for each of them. So this one is my 55 degree grind. Now 55 degrees, it's 50, 60-ish. And this is what I use to do most of my hollowing and for my deep bowls. And as you can see the grind on it, it's kind of an asymmetric grind, not so much. But this wing is a little bit swept back compared to that wing. So that's how I grind that. This one is a 45 degree angle. And this one you can see it is quite significantly asymmetric. You can see that one ring is quite swept back and the other one's sticking out. Now these are asymmetric grinds. So what does that mean? This means that these cannot be achieved with a jig. I'm pretty sure. Well, you probably can you can build a jig for anything in this life, I've realized. But I think you're going to get it's going to be a lot harder for you to build a jig than just freehanding it. Now, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say freehand is not constant. Yes and no. It's like rolling beads with a skew compared to a beading tool. The more you do it, the better you get. If you just say no, it's just not good enough, it's not constant, blah, 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 and you only do it once or twice, then yeah, every single time you're going to do it, it's going to suck. But if you get really good at it, after a certain while, you can see, look at this bevel. Look at it. There's barely any facets on it. And that's freehand, right? So a lot of turners use this. This is a method. It's not exactly the same method as Tomislav uses and Richard Raffin use, which are my main mentors when it comes to wood turning. This is a method that I've developed doing it my way. I'm pretty sure there's other people that do it this way, but that's how I learned and I feel comfortable doing it. So this is angled for this grind. So the first thing is you always want to match that bevel angle. So that's 45. You want that to stick up right there, and you want to be able to have a perfect alignment. Now, when you have that, it's like when we did the skew, the other video with the skew. It's just rotating and moving the gouge. This hand does everything, but it's really important, and I repeat this, it is really, really important that this stays pinned to the... If you start raising or lowering like that, that's it, man. You've lost all consistency in this not so consistent world. Like, there's consistency here, but if you start going up and down and then and that, that's it, man. You've screwed yourself. It's over. It's going to be really hard to get it back. So I'm just going to make sure that I can swing this with the camera there. No, I can't. If the camera's there, I can't swing, because there is a portion of this that is swinging the gouge. Yeah, it will pass. I'm not sure this one will, though. Pretty sure this one is gonna, yeah, that one's gonna hit the camera. I'm in a tight spot. I think I have a way around this. Just give me a second. All right, so I moved you out of the way. So we'll start with the 45. So very simply, I want this wing to be swept back, and I want this one to be up straight. So I start off here, and I just rotate. Like that. If I do it on this side, boom. And there you get your edge, right? Now, I'm going to try and get you into a better position. Okay, because I do tend to stand very close. And then there we go. Now you may be wondering, Matthew, your hand is getting dangerously close to that. And yes, I do. I know. But that's the way I feel comfortable doing it. And yeah. So the way I like to do this is that I actually go like this. And then when I come back to center, that's when I go and clip the edge. I don't actually grind the edge all the way through. I actually just ride here. And then when I get to the edge and I'm coming back down, that's when I start to sharpen the edge. I don't know if that makes any sense. So I'll just stop that. So what I do is I get my edge like that. I rotate like this just to get all I don't know if you can see me, all this steel off, right? Because that steel is there, right? You have to get that off. And then as I hit the corner here, that corner right there, I then do the edge back to center. So it's kind of like a swing and then curve like that. So it's a swing and then a curve. But I'm always watching the tool. And then when I do this side, it's the same principle. I swing the tool like that. I hit the edge, and then I drag the edge back down to center. And that gives me, I'll be honest, let's be honest, like not a horrible bevel. Like, it's not perfect, but like, come on, it's not horrible at all. So that's how I sharpen my tools. And as you can see, this is sharp. Like, it was actually sharp a few passes ago. I just did it again to show you guys, but you can see that it doesn't take forever to do this. It actually takes less long than using a jig, because you have to set the jig up. I don't have to set the jig up. All I have to do is, this is my bowl gouge. I do that, boom, that's set, bang. All right, turn it on. So this is the 55, exact same principle. Boom, finished. That's sharp and that's ready to run. Now, this one is a little bit different to use because it's a V flute. V flutes have a tendency to dip. I'll show you guys a picture and I'll draw it. It will be a little bit simpler for you to understand. And the same goes for these deep fluted bowl gouges. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just going to focus the camera. These deep U fluted bowl gouges. These are also a pain in the ass to sharpen, pardon my language, simply because of the way they're made. So I'm going to put you into an angle and I'll show you. Alright, so for this drawing portion of the video, I will be using a scrap piece of wood. I'll use this piece of cherry. So basically, bowl gouges, your bevel, you want your bevel to always be, I'll use a pencil. It'll be a little bit easier to get off and it won't be, anyway. So your bowl gouges, you want them to be rounded. So if that's your gouge, right? Like that. You want that to be rounded because that will allow you to take more material off, and it will be just better, right? And it's a more curved shape. What happens with the V flutes and the deep U fluted, this is the gouge, right? I'll do the grind here. They have a tendency to, you have to sharpen the wing and then the bottom U separately. Because what happens is the U will want to do this. it will want to dip in a little bit, like a little hook. Like that. You can see, like, from there to there, it's not like continuously curved. It's kind of like a little hook because you're grinding away metal too fast. And that is not the best, because what happens is, and this is from my understanding, and this is kind of my experience. Again, I'm not an expert at metal worker. I'm not an expert at grinding tools. What I'm saying is, this is what my experience. What happens is, if when you're hitting your tool here, this is contacting the wood, and you suddenly go around here to contact the wood, there's gaps. There's like a space there. And that's not what you want. When it's here, as you're engaging the edge more, the entire quantity of the edge is engaging the wood gradually. So you know your gouge won't have a tendency to bog down as much. It won't go like, you know, when you're turning and then suddenly it goes like really quick, and it kind of just grabs everything, and it just is a horrible noise, and it just pulls everything in, and it just sucks. That's my reason why. It's because there's too much of the edge that contacts at the same time, and because you have this little dipping curve, it just leaves a bad, not as a good edge profile. So with that kind of profile, you'll never be able to just hog material off. Like I posted a video recently of me doing bowls, and I think it was 50 seconds a bowl. The reason I can hog as much material as I can, basically the entire length of the wing, is because of this flowing curve. If it was a jagged curve, then it wouldn't work, because you have all these little gaps, and then it just doesn't give a clean cut. This will allow you to have a nice clean cut. So you always want your edges to be like this, which is why when you do V-shaped gouges and deep fluted gouges, you have to be careful of that, because they have a tendency to just have not that much material here, so that grinds away super quick, and then the rest stays good. So you really have to check. I don't know if I have one. I shouldn't, but because technically I want my gouges to be correct. No, I don't have it. They're both sharp. But anyway, so that's what I say. So really be careful when you sharpen those types of gouges to do the bottom half first and then join the wings. With the parabolic flute gouges, you can just basically do one swept motion and it'll be fine. Which is why I recommend, if you're purchasing one, purchase something like that. Even if the steel is really good, honestly. Like, there's this company I want to buy from. I'm not going to name the name of the company, but they make really good tools. But I've never held one. I have a friend who has one, so I'm going to go ask him today about it. But if they're bowl gouges that are U-shaped bowl gouges, I'd still rather have not as good steel, but have a parabolic flute, because they're just so much easier to sharpen. So that's my opinion on the thing. If you think I'm wrong, and you have scientific, or you're an engineer or whatever, and you know about this, and you're telling me like, nah, that Matthew, what you just said makes no sense, comment. Please, I'm telling you guys, comment on the videos. If you think I'm doing something that is not technically right, or you've had better experience with something else, comment. As long as the comments are respectful and they're constructive, comment. Please, I'm here to learn. I'm divulging my way of doing things so that the people can help me learn and get better, and I hope I can help people get better as well. But if this is wrong, what I'm saying, please let me know. Please let me know. I'm not preaching gospel right here. I'm just saying that's how I see it, that's how I've experienced it, and that's what I try to avoid. That's it. If the reason behind it is wrong, please let me know. And if I'm not saying the right thing and this doesn't matter, let me know. But again, that's how I do it. So that's how I sharpen bowl gouges. It's a very short video on grinding because it's really, really simple. It's not reshaping, it's just maintaining your edge, and it's just practice. So that's how I do it. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, this is a quick video on how I sharpen my gouges. I'm not comparing grinds, I'm not comparing grinding styles, I'm just saying how I sharpen. So there's various types of grinds. I might do a video on them at a future. The reason I'm not doing how to reprofile a gouge is because all my gouge works. All my gouge work. I like the way they do. I use them. I don't have to change the grind on them. I like them like this. But I will do it the day I decide to purchase a new gouge, because this one will be dead. And again, I hope you guys enjoyed. This is just my way of doing it. I don't use a jig. I do use a jig for spindle gouges, which is why I'm probably not gonna do a video on it, because it's really, really simple. So all my spindle gouges are done with the one-way jig. The reason for it is there's just less material on a spindle gouge, so I leave it up to the jig, and I've always done it that way. But for bowl gouges and skews, freehand. Also, you cannot get an asymmetric grind with I'm losing my words. You can't get an asymmetric grind with a jig, so that's why you have to go the freehand. And also, deep U fluted bowl gouges, you cannot sharpen with a jig. I'm telling you, you cannot. The reason why I'm saying you can't, well, you can, but you kind of have to figure it out, is I bought a Henry Taylor gouge. I was super happy about it. It was a deep U fluted bowl gouge, right? And I bought it. It was $200. I got it. Tried to grind it. Didn't work. Bought a jig. Didn't work. Bought another jig. Didn't work. I couldn't get rid of that little hook. And I ended up returning the tool after wasting a bunch of steel and a lot of frustration. And then I started freehand grinding to get the beautiful asymmetric grind. I took this gouge, which is a deep U flute, and I said I'll just do it on the freehand. It took me not 20 minutes. Well, maybe 15, because I had to get the steel all out to get the grind, but it took 15 minutes and one try, freehand. So I'm telling you, for these flutes, freehand is the way to go. It's really, really hard to do them with a jig. But I advertise for freehand, not because it's a better way of doing it, not because jigs are not good. It's just, one, I'm lazy and I like to do stuff hands-on, so that's one of the reasons. And second of all, you either, like, again, I've done a video on what tools to buy. If it's cheap steel. If you waste it, doesn't matter. You're just getting better at it. So that's why I freehand grind everything. But I don't want to get into a huge debate with that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned a little bit of something about this, and I hope you enjoyed having this video on grinding. So I might do another one for scrapers, but scrapers are really, really easy. You just angle it down to 70, it's really, really easy. So with that in mind, happy turning. We'll see you next time.